We've got football weather and a classic Jeffco matchup tonight at the NAC. You're watching Colorado High School football coverage here on NSPN.TV. Hello, everyone. My name's Miles Dunklin. We got Chris Angelo running the camera as the number 4 in the state of Colorado, Ralston Valley Mustangs, here in a road game in their home facility against the Arvada West Wildcats, who currently come in ranked number 20 in the state of Colorado. Big football game tonight with RV coming in 4-1 at this facility this season. 7-2 overall for Arvada West. They are 5-4, but they have been really good against teams they're better than. Had a hard time beating those upper echelon teams, but they've played one of the toughest schedules in the state of Colorado. Their losses are to Fossil Ridge, who's the top 15 team, Cherry Creek, Columbine, and Chatfield. Big opportunity for them tonight to knock off Ralston Valley. We'll take a quick break. All right, we are ready for some football here at the NAC. This is a definitive rivalry game here in the city of Arvada. These teams, back and forth they will go with their student sections. And look across the field there at RV and all those kids in white in the middle of that, of those bleachers on that far side. An absolutely packed house for RV. Their head coach, Jared Yanacito, led them last year. They were an extra point and double overtime away from a state championship appearance in his first season. A big crowd over here on the near side as well for Arvada West. These two teams very familiar with each other. And these programs compete in just about everything. No different tonight, as Cole Pfeiffer is ready to kick it away. Gomez and Green back deep to return, and Pfeiffer, as he is known to do, boots this one out of the back of the end zone. Pfeiffer's been amazing this season on kickoffs. 38 kickoffs, 23 touchbacks for the sophomore who just started playing high school football. Let's look at this Arvada West club on offense. Logan Duhacek, the sophomore, that's going to be a trend. A lot of young players for this team. Adrian Somalia in the backfield. He's already got an offer from Bowling Green. Somalia up the middle here. This is a really good running football team. They've got some good offensive linemen up front. Somalia, a sophomore. Giovanni Panazzo there on the left side of the offensive line. He's committed to play for the Wyoming Cowboys. He's next to Bryce Miller, a 280-pounder. You got Jaden Somalia, Caleb Haar, and Braden Zach across that offensive line. It is a big group for Brad Pyatt. 2nd down and 6. Logan Duhacek throwing left side. That one's caught. Not a lot of room to run. As quickly on the scene out there was Bryson Diebold making the catch, number 13. And that's Aiden Garcia. These young receivers have still been coming along as this season has gone along for Arvada West. They've been really potent with their running game, but Logan Duhacek, just a sophomore. All these guys are going to grow up and be really good football players, but they've got their hands full tonight against one of the best teams in Colorado. They pitch it right side. Here comes Somalia, and he's driven down in the backfield. Big play there by number 26 for this defense. That's their leading rusher on the season, Brady Weldon, coming back off knee surgery, making a big tackle there on 3rd and short, and it will be a punting situation here for Arvada West. Back deep to return is Jack Wagner. Been a bit of a revolving door at the punting position. But right now it's Michael Linnerson, a sophomore linebacker. We've seen Cooper Greason in that role as well. Kevin Sanchez does the deep snapping. And it's a decent kick. Takes a great Arvada West bounce. They're going to get about an extra 8 or 9 yards out of this one as Cooper Greason, good overall athlete for Arvada West, will down it right there. So a short introduction to the Arvada West offense. And now let's talk about this Ralston Valley offense. They are loaded with talent. First of all, the quarterback, Logan Madden, consensus all-state player. Let's get a tighter look at that offensive huddle. Look at Peyton Noble, 52. He's committed to the Air Force Academy. Number 70, Austin Blattner. Number 75, Jake Huffman. You've also got Mikolas Henning in there on the offensive line. And Jack Moran, son of the legend at CSU. His dad is in the Hall of Fame there for the Rams. And Jack at 6'6", 260. He's committed to play for Colorado State. And they've got big bodies that we don't even see in there yet. I mean, Bishop Banter is 6'4", 265, and he's not even a starter for this group. They have got some big bodies on this Ralston Valley squad, led by Jared Yanacito, came over from Golden High School. Played for Pomona, a longtime Jefferson County guy. Both of these coaches played here in this league. Brad Pyatt played for his hometown Arvada West Wildcats. Now he's the head coach. So Madden with Debo and Weldon in the backfield. Handoff, swarmed. It's Jackson Pyatt making a play to start things off for Arvada West. And congratulations to Jackson. He picked up an offer from Ole Miss this week. Let's get a camera there on number 3 as Jackson picked up his first Power 5 offer. Had a number of offers from non-Power 5 schools, but boy, you get an offer from a school like Ole Miss, head coach like Lane Kiffin, that's going to bring a lot of attention to this Arvada West team and to Jackson Pyatt. Throwing over the middle, defended well again there by Pyatt. So Pyatt involved on both plays here as they look for Wyatt Morwood. The receivers here for Ralston Valley, you got to start with Jackson Hansen. He's been an absolute killer in his career. 60 receptions, 752 yards, and 11 touchdowns this season for Hansen. And Hansen right now, I believe, is at the top of your screen. You'll also see Wyatt Morwood, Marshall Strange, and Anthony Bonallo. 3rd down and 11 here for Madden. Stepping up, directing traffic, in all kinds of trouble. He'll be sacked. It's Chris Stevens-Rosner, an absolute game wrecker on the defensive line. And what an opening series it was for this Arvada West defense. Big-time rivalry game. Ralston Valley certainly comes into this one as the favorite. But Arvada West put in a lot of work this week. Coach Pyatt telling me it was one of their best weeks of practice. Incredibly diligent. Punting it away. Might have been blocked. Was this tipped? I'm not sure. It takes a good bounce there for RV. It'll be down at the 39-yard line. And there's some momentum for the boys in purple on this near sideline. Nice to see the Stars come out to play early with Pyatt making a play and then Stevens-Rosner, who's been moved from outside linebacker to nose guard. That's really unlocked some things for this Arvada West defense. And they've got several playmakers on that side of the ball. So does this RV group. Up the middle goes Jaden Green. I already told you that Somalia, a future Division I running back. This young man right here will certainly be one as well. Jaden Green is a really good football player. These two guys, just how much do they give him the ball? Well, Arvada West has run it 250 times this season. All but 17 of those have gone to number 12 and number 1. And they've rushed it this year at 7.6 yards a carry. Second down and 9. It's Green. Look out. He can really go. Green to midfield, showing a little bit of power at the end. It's number 15 on the stop. That's LaBarbera. Or check that. For Ralston Valley, that's Jack Wagner making this stop, but Green gets loose and shows you what he can do. Both of these sophomore running backs are going to be studs. I mean, they're already excellent players. 7.5 yards a carry and 16 touchdowns this year for those two. There goes Green. He's more of the slasher. As you can see there, he's got some real explosive ability. Somalia is a little bit more of a grinded out between the tackles kind of runner. So not only do they have two really good ones, they complement each other very well. So Logan Duacek, the sophomore quarterback, with some real nice toys to play with on his offense, and they hope to keep this group together all the way through. The receivers for this offense: Noah Muir, Declan Hatch, Keegan Balistreri, Aiden Garcia. Here's Green, left side. Jaden Green is loose. Jaden Green to the 21-yard line. I'm telling you, this young man, Jaden Green, can really play the game. 102 carries, 777 yards, 5 touchdowns, a long of 63. 86 yards rushing a game for Green, 109 for Somalia. So those two guys run it for 200 yards a game, just shy of 200 yards a game, just between the two. Green gets a breather. Somalia checks in. Somalia with some group of 5 teams already offering him. Somalia up the middle for a couple. Let's talk about this Ralston Valley defense. Peyton Noble, Jack Moran, Jake Huffman on the defensive line. Tyrese Johnson is a game wrecker. Tyrese Johnson's committed to the Air Force Academy. Peyton Noble committed to the Air Force Academy. Jack Moran to CSU. All those guys on the defensive line for RV. Then George Patterson, an outside linebacker. Laird Jones and Kit LeBlanc, really good players up the middle for this team. Another handoff to Somalia, and he picks up a couple. Bryson D-Ball, Colby Kurtz will play outside linebacker. In their secondary, Marshall Strange, Jackson Hansen, and Jack Wagner will be playing corner. Wagner back in there full-time after missing time with an injury. Kyle Phipps and Jacob LaBarbera are the safeties. Leading tackler for this team, Laird Jones. Had a visit to Mesa last week. He can really play as well. Good matchup, strength on strength with the front 7 of Ralston Valley and the running game of Arvada West. Over the middle, it's bobbled and intercepted. Ralston Valley with a huge play at the goal line. It's Kyle Phipps, the senior, with the takeaway.
Holding number 57 of the offense. That penalty's decline. First down, Ralston Valley.
Number 25, Kyle Phipps on the INT for the Mustangs.
So an unfortunate error there for Arvada West, as they were threatening to go down and take an early lead here against the number 4 team in the state. If there's good news here for the Wildcats, it's that Ralston Valley has to take over at the 1-yard line. So Austin Blattner will snap it back to Logan Madden and hand it off up the gut. Vinny V. Hill first on the scene to make the stop. Let's get a tight look at that defense here for Arvada West. Their secondary's got some really good players. Jaden Nichols, Cooper Greason, Atticus Tillman, son of a great football player, football family. His dad is the defensive backs coach at Georgia Tech. Caleb Gomez at outside linebacker. Tegan Shantz in the middle, a really good football player alongside Jackson Pyatt. We already talked about Pyatt. Cameron Meyer at that outside linebacker spot as well. Inside handoff here, and once again, Arvada West plays it tough. That was Meyer in, number 7. And a late flag comes in the secondary. On the defensive line for this Arvada West squad, Kevin Sanchez and Vincent Vigil, they are the rush ends and really good players.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 5, Arvada West. 15 yards, results in a first down.
And they get Chris Stevens-Rosner, and Chris Stevens-Rosner there in the middle of that defense, like I said, came in, spun him down to defensive line from outside linebacker, and they feel really good about what he's done. I mean, Chris goes about 6'2", 240, 250, and they'll sub in Jordan Nightwalker, one of the best names in the league, or rather Christian Nightwalker. First down and 10 here for Ralston Valley. Throwing left side. Had a beat on it, but able to get past the first line of defense. Nice play there for the running back. That's Brady Weldon. And Ralston Valley all the way out to the 30-yard line. They started this drive at their own 1. So just how good has Jackson Hansen been? Well, 11 touchdowns on the season. Receiving. That's out of 16 possible touchdown passes that they've thrown. And there's Hansen. Slung down immediately by Gomez. That's Caleb Gomez, a young man who unselfishly moved a defense from running back. He was playing last year as a freshman at running back. Read the room. Looked at Somalia and Green and said, hey, those are some pretty darn good players. Where can I help the team? And right now it's at outside linebacker. And he's doing a great job for them. Early movement. Logan Madden wanted the call, not going to get it. Consensus All-State quarterback is Logan Madden. Handoff. Myers all over it. This Arvada West team is playing some inspired football to start this one. We're 9 minutes into this first quarter. By the way, the game started late due to a lingering injury from our first game between Lakewood and Pomona. Ambulance had to be called. Terrible scene. Both these teams couldn't get on the field till close to 7 o'clock. Third down and 11. Quads to the left here for RV. Pyatt got home to Madden, but able to break free and then couldn't get it to Jackson Hansen. How about Brad Pyatt's son, Jackson Pyatt, number 3? They don't offer kids to play defense in the SEC that aren't studs, especially out of the state of Colorado. You got to really stand out to get that kind of attention. He and Adrian Somalia went on the national circuit this summer, got that attention. And Jackson's playing awesome so far. Nearly blocked the kick again. It will be fair caught at the 36-yard line. Back there by number 21, Noah Muir. Another sophomore for this squad. So, you know, Coach Pyatt telling me this week that we have to remind ourselves just how young we are. And let me run through the starters here and how many of them are sophomores. The center, the right guard, the quarterback, both running backs, top 3 receivers. On defense, similar situation. I mean, essentially 75% of their players.
False start, number 13, Arvada West. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Essentially 75% of their starters are sophomores. And just the wide receivers, Noah Muir, Keegan Balistreri, Aiden Garcia. All those guys sophomores. Declan Hatch will play some. He's a junior. Somalia's a sophomore. Green's a sophomore. Gomez is a sophomore. Duacek's a sophomore. If they're touching the ball for Arvada West tonight, it's a sophomore. Duacek stepping up, slinging over the middle. It's incomplete. Looking for Noah Muir there. They call him No-No. And Coach Pyatt telling me that Noah's one of these guys. He's coached him since Little League. Coached them since they were little boys. And knows what they can do. And the light's finally coming on for some of these young players that, hey, I can do this at the varsity level. You know, anytime you make a jump up, varsity football is a different deal than junior varsity football. It's a different deal than football coming up in middle school. Duacek throwing at the sticks. Well done. Nice pitch and catch there to find Aiden Garcia. But if you're a Wildcat fan, and maybe you feel like, hey, you know, this year hasn't gone quite as well as we wanted, 5-4, you got to keep in mind the context. This is a young team. You know, Ralston Valley, meanwhile, they've got a lot of seniors, a lot of depth. Third down and a long 3 here. They give it to Green. He's got work to do. Great pursuit. Ball came out right into the hands of LaBarbera. Nobody's going to catch him. It's a scoop and score for the Mustangs, and they're on the board first. Jacob LaBarbera.
Ralston Valley Mustangs. It's number 19, Jacob LaBarbera with the fumble recovery.
And that huge crowd over there for Ralston Valley, their students weathering terrible conditions tonight. Got something to be excited about on that one. Boy, and that's the kind of play for the Wildcats they just could not afford in this game. You're going to beat a team this good. Pfeiffer this year is now 14 out of 16 on point after tries. And with 1:35 left here in the first quarter, Ralston Valley makes it 7-0. So let's take a look at the Jeffco standings. Columbine 4-0. They have officially won the league by virtue of their win over these Ralston Valley Mustangs. RV and Chatfield both sit at 3-1. Now RV took care of Chatfield last week, 42-28. Then Arvada West is that 4th team in the league. We had a battle of 2 0-9 squads, and Pomona and Lakewood earlier today, and it was Pomona winning an interesting game, let's just say. Tons of turnovers and penalties. A long injury at the end that forced the game to be completed prematurely. Nearly a great comeback effort from Lakewood. It was a great comeback effort, but not able to complete it. They fell down 24-7 and lost that one 24-21. But those are the standings in the 5A Jeffco League. Last week's action, it was Columbine over Lakewood 48-0. And they only scored 7 points in the second half. Columbine basically named their score there. Arvada West, similar situation over Pomona 41-0. Ralston Valley beat Chatfield 42-28. Handoff here goes for a minimal gain with Adrian Somalia. The games this week, we already talked about Lakewood and Pomona. Tomorrow night, Chatfield will play Columbine. That's an interesting game. Chatfield, their record says 5-4. If you know the situation, that is not the kind of team they are. They're currently ranked number 9 in the state. facing the number 2 team in Columbine. Back to the action here. Do a check. Throwing. Caught by Noah Muir. And Noah took a big lick there from Tyrese Johnson at the end, number 58. But no will move the chains here. So, of course, this Ralston Valley Arvada West game, Lakewood and Pomona, and Chatfield and Columbine. 25 seconds left to go in this first quarter. 7-0 Mustangs. Bouncing off a tackler. Look at this run here by Somalia. Too good a pursuit there by RV. That's going to do it for the opening quarter. You know, it was one that was really controlled by Arvada West. But an interception off a tip ball at the goal line and then a fumble run back for a touchdown by Ralston Valley has us right now with the Mustangs leading 7-0 as we go to the first quarter break. You're watching Colorado High School football here on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Yo, camping buddy. Boom.
Back at the knack, big second down play here for Duachek as he play makes and finds Aiden Garcia. Nice pitch and catch there. You know, interesting storyline here with this Arvada West team. They lost maybe the state's best receiver last year in Brady Witherspoon. Just an absolute man on the perimeter. And Drew Martinez was one of the state's best the year before. They had some alpha dogs on the outside and some good players on the inside as well. So 4 new receivers and a new quarterback. So a brand new passing game. And it's starting to come along as this season's gone along. Duachek now 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Handoff here to Somalia. He's completed 55% of his passes for 1,222 yards. Quarterback rating of 89.4. Compare that to Logan Madden. 2,000 yards passing. 16 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. A quarterback rating of 115. I mean, Logan Madden certainly one of the state's best, if not the best. Second down and 8. Somalia spinning and picks up 3 or 4. You know, that's the kind of run, that's vintage Adrian Somalia right there. It might have been blocked for 2. He finds a way to get 4. Logan Duachek definitely has a good situation to come up with these young wide receivers with that big offensive line and these great running backs. Third down and 4. This is a big play for the Wildcats. And now they change it here at the line of scrimmage. This is Brad Pyatt's offense. Played under Dave Logan at Arvada West. This one will go to the 50. It's not going to move the chains, but I think Brad Pyatt might roll the dice here. You know, Coach Pyatt telling me they wanted the ball to start the game. If he had won the toss, he would have taken the ball. He wants his offense on the field early. He wants to keep this thing close early. And Duachek, big kid, 6'2", 6'3". Strong kid as well. Could be an option for a quarterback sneak. And now a timeout will be taken by Brad Pyatt. He knows the importance of this moment.
Arvada West.
I think
Charge, timeout of the half.
Brad had something like 5 catches in his professional career, caught balls from Peyton Manning. Primarily a return guy. Talked to me about the mentality of returning kicks and punts in the NFL, that he had to sell out for every possible yard because the difference between averaging 5 yards of punt return and 6 might have been an ability to make a large sum of money, ability to support his family, continue his dream, and eventually got hurt doing just that. I mean, returning kicks in that league, you got to have a bit of a screw loose to want to do that. But Coach Pyatt, an NFL veteran, not a lot of guys can say that. Not a lot of guys can say they played offense with Peyton Manning, caught balls. Peyton told him very clearly, you're a bubble screen guy and you're a go route guy. Not throwing you a whole lot else. Do a check. Under center, tried the hard count. And now, this is going to be an illegal procedure. You could see what Arvada West was up to. Do a check, came to the sideline.
False start. Arvada West. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Came to the sideline, palms up. Trying to get Ralston Valley looking that way. They wanted the direct snap to Somalia. Offensive line moved early. It'll be a punting situation here for the Wildcats. Michael Linnerson again is the man back deep to punt it away. And Jack Wagner stands at his own 21. So we're 15 minutes into the game. No offensive points yet. Low snap. Big mistake here for the Wildcats. Back to the 33-yard line. That's where Ralston Valley will take over. Look, this Ralston Valley team is too good to spot them 50 yards on this kind of play. So Arvada West wants desperately to get a win. They will be a playoff team regardless. This loss, if they were to take one, would not hurt too much. You're playing one of the best teams in Colorado, but you want a better seeding. You want better matchups through the playoffs. And you want to beat Ralston Valley. Off the edge comes Gomez. He hit him, and Meyer picks it off. It's Meyer down the sideline in a foot race. Debo able to track him down, but a huge play here for the Wildcats. Caleb Gomez on the hit. Cameron Meyer on the interception.
Logan Madden back to pass this one. Intercepted on the play. Number 7.
Jess Madden's 4th interception of the year.
Here we took that one in the house, but it stopped at the 30-yard line.
For Cameron Meyer, that is his 2nd. Huge play there for the Wildcats. As we are in the 2nd quarter, let me get that fixed for you. 1st and 10, the give is to Green. Huge play there by Cameron Meyer. Gomez came there unblocked. You could feel Logan Madden, feel Caleb Gomez. Had to get rid of the football there into the flat. And late into the flat is no place to put the football. Got to give the credit to Arvada West. Just the 4th interception of the year for Logan Madden. He takes great care of that thing. 2nd down and 8. Do a check. Pressured, and he'll go down. Big play made there by Huffman. Incredibly underrated player is this Jake Huffman. You line him up next to Noble and Johnson and Moran and all those guys with those D1 offers, but look at the body type there on Jake Huffman. That's what you want him to look like. I mean, he's a guy that should absolutely have some college opportunities, and the guy across from him, George Patterson, as well. Both those guys, they can put on a lot of weight and still maintain their athletic ability. Excellent looking prospects. Do a check. trying to set up a screen. It's tipped and incomplete. Boy, it was Johnson and Patterson with a chance to intercept that one. Patterson's made a ton of plays this year. In terms of tackles for loss, sacks, all those kind of defensive plays, Patterson with 4 sacks and 16 hurries. Both of those categories lead Ralston Valley. And he's out there with some D1 studs. So Arvada West dodges a bullet there. It's still 4th down and 12, but you're in no man's land here. A punt might net you 13 yards. Can't kick it. They need the 20. And a delay of game called, but first, a timeout taken by Brad Pyatt. That's his second of the half. 7:44 left in this one. Good football game being played here at the NAC between a couple of Jefferson County classic football teams here. We'll take a quick break.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
All right, 4th down and 12, big play here for the Wildcats. You could make the argument that they have been the better team so far. Scoreboard says 7-0 Ralston Valley. A West needs to take advantage of all this offense they've churned up. Do a check. Launching it deep for Aiden Garcia. Incomplete, but flags will fly. Wagner on the coverage had good stride for stride coverage, but don't think he was turned toward the ball enough to get the benefit of the doubt.
Pass interference, number 15, Ralston Valley. 15 yards, result in a first down.
You know, my grandfather played college football. My dad is a lover of the game. As I learned about the game when I was a kid, it was imprinted into my brain, hey, when you throw it, 3 things can happen, 2 of them are bad, right? Interception, incomplete pass, only one of them is good at completion. Well, that's not the modern way of thinking. One of the things that can happen is defensive pass interference, and it happens more often than not. And right there, Arvada West moves the chains. It's Green up the middle. Green's looked frisky with the ball in his hand. Did have the fumble. But Green is certainly a weapon once again. Came into today 100 carries. 777 yards. Not a math guy, but that's good for an average of 7.7. He and Somalia with identical yards per carry this year. And Adrian Somalia, by the way, has gone over 1,000 yards here in the first half. Green has a nice blend of that elusiveness, but got some power as well. Running behind big Bryce Miller. They got the 2 redheads there in Panazzo and Miller. Well, you put those guys together, you got the perfect offensive lineman. You got 6'6", 250, and you got 6'1", 280. You just got to blend them together, and you got the perfect blocker. But pretty good size on the left side of that offensive line with those 2 guys. 1st and goal from the 6. High snap, handled there. Green dropped immediately. George Patterson, this kid's a playmaker. Leads the team in tackles for loss, sacks, hurries. Much more of an unsung hero. You know, he's a guy, from talking to Jared Yanacito all year, they really hope could be a late bloomer in the recruiting game. I think whoever ends up landing number 11, they're going to get a good football player. And they're going to get a guy with a ton of upside. I mean, those long limbs. Hurt his shoulder last year, didn't really get to show what he could do as a junior. He's shown it as a senior. Do a check. Rolling right at the 8. Receiver uncovered. And Duacek found him. It's Noah Muir for 6. Great play there by Logan Duacek. You can see the evolution of this young man as the season's gone along. Important to keep in mind as we talk about Arvada West, all these kids are sophomores. But Duacek that time rolled right, then stayed patient with it. Didn't tuck it, didn't throw it immediately, waited. Bad snap here. Good job on the hold. And the extra point is good. So we got a tie ball game here at the NAC between a couple of great rivals. These coaches, but nothing but respect for each other. A kind of a fun quote here from Brad Pyatt yesterday. He said, when Ralston Valley hired Jared Yanacito, it made me hate them just a little bit less. Testament to what a guy Jared Yanacito is. Prides his program on class. You know, just an anecdote here, but I think kind of a cool one for Jared Yanacito. No cursing from their coaches at all. And that is not typical in this sport or many sports. Okay, but they really run a classy operation over there. Arvada West, same kind of program. A lot of respect, but some good, healthy sports hate between these two. On the run back, it's Jackson Hansen. Jackson Hansen shot out of a cannon. Across midfield and all the way to the 40-yard line. There he is. I've been calling him the pound for pound champ of Colorado high school football. I don't know what Jackson weighs, about $150? $160? Boy, can he play. Speaking of Jackson Hansen, Brad Pyatt telling me, you know, and by the way, this is exactly how I would play it. They're going to do their best to make somebody else from Ralston Valley beat them. So wherever Jackson Hansen goes, you're going to see Atticus Tillman. You're going to see a little bit of extra as they give it up the middle. Tough running there by Weldon. Weldon will move the chains. But just on that last play, two corners, they really bracketed him out there. And a bracket means when you can think about what it might look like in your head here. But you got one player maybe trying to keep them from going inside, one player from keeping them going outside. And as Hansen switched sides of the field, those players travel with him. Hansen right now, bottom of the screen, guarded there by Atticus Tillman. They throw that way. There's Hansen. One of the few times he got one-on-one coverage, and immediately he hurts him. He's just smooth. He knows how to get open, knows how to use his hips to manipulate defensive backs. And he's just a competitor. He's one of these kids that's good at a little bit of everything. You don't want to play him in ping pong because he wants to win. One of the best basketball players in Jeffco for sure. Flag is down. This is Ralston Valley's best drive so far. By the way, we had some really nasty weather at the end of our first game today. Can't really ask for much better right now. In fact, it's gotten a lot warmer.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 3 in defense. Half the distance to the goal.
And they get Jackson Pyatt, who did play a terrific first quarter. Jackson was everywhere.
Excuse me, replay first down.
Coming off that offer from the Ole Miss Rebels. Pretty cool. We don't see a lot of kids around here get Power 5 offers. It's first down and 2. Debo and this young man in the backfield, that's Brady Weldon. And Weldon will move the chains. First and goal now from the 5. Tegan Chance
First down.
on the stop.
First down and goal.
Tegan's made a ton of plays this year. Second on the team in tackles, right behind Jackson Pyatt. 77 for Pyatt, 76 for Chance. First and goal from the 4. Weldon's the deep back. They give it to him, and he's blown up. Tegan Chance, Cooper Greason in on the stop. Greason's just a kind of a utility player. Can do a little bit of everything. Very good lacrosse player. Just a good overall athlete. And trying to find different ways to have him involved on this team. A variety of skills for number 8. This is where this front 7 of Arvada West needs to bow up. Vinny Vigil, Kevin Sanchez, 2 of the best young defensive linemen in this league, against some of the best offensive linemen in the state. And now a delay of game. See if RV got a timeout first.
Delay of game. Ralston Valley. 5-yard penalty. Still 7
Got the student sections going back and forth at each other. Won't miss an opportunity to let the RV kids know what's up. Second down and goal from the 10, a 2x2 set here. Madden, pump fakes. Now he wants to throw it. He's got some blockers. Can't get past Tegan Chance. What a series it's been for number 2. All over the place. Look at all the helmet stickers for Tegan Chance. I always love this time of year in high school football. You see the kids with all the helmet stickers. They run out of room. Good way to let the opponent know, yeah, I'm that guy on defense. 4 wide receivers here. Jackson Hansen is in the slot to the left. He's being guarded there by Cooper Greason. Always got to find number 2, 11 touchdowns on the year. Madden throwing right side. It is incomplete. Looking over there for Anthony Bonallo. Ralston Valley looks like they will settle for a field goal here. I think you got to hand it right now to Arvada West. They are definitively the underdog in this game. Very good football team, but Ralston Valley, their body of work speaks for itself. Pfeiffer's been accurate this year, 7 out of 8. High snap. I'm not sure they were ready, but Pfeiffer nails it anyway. He is as talented as any kicker in this state. Got some great hair for a kicker as well, might I add. Pfeiffer's dad was a collegiate kicker, and it wasn't until the season had already begun that they called up Jared Yanacito and said, hey, how about getting my boy out? I talked to Jared on the phone that week. He said, I got a new kicker, and he tried a 50-yarder with him in that game. So they got some confidence in Cole Pfeiffer, and I mentioned this stat earlier, but Pfeiffer on kickoffs this season has kicked it off. This will be the 40th time, and so far he's got 23 touchbacks. That is uncommon for a high school kicker. This is high and deep, but will be returnable here for Jaden Green from the 5. Green, the sophomore. Nowhere to run past the 20-yard line, driven down there by a host of Mustangs.
Kickoff return from number 1, Jaden Green, number 42.
So 1 minute and 31 seconds for young Logan Duhacek. 1 timeout. They'll start on the ground. Somalia, nowhere to go for Adrian. Sometimes that can be kind of the tone setter for a drive. Do you want to be aggressive? Do you want to push it down the field? Do you want to keep it conservative? You run it early. If you get a big gain, then that sets the tone. If not, then maybe we milk some clock. I think this second down play will definitely tell Arvada West what they want to do. Big run right side. Somalia did not go out of bounds, but did pick up the 39-yard line. The clock should have stopped right there on the first down.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock
and
to 57 seconds to start on my whistle.
Our white hat there, John Tracy, noticed the same thing I did. And now, if you're Arvada West, you want to go. Somalia able to pick up the big gainer there. Still have not fixed the clock. It should be.
Please reset the game clock to 57 seconds.
I would say at least 57 seconds. And there we go. And then they'll wind on the start right there from John Tracy. Arvada West won't waste much time. Duacek will give it again. Somalia up the gut. Adrian Somalia doesn't have a first down. He's a yard shy, but a 9-yard pickup. And now A West. They stopped the clock here when they didn't need to. Oh, check that. They call it a first down. So the clock does stop. Now they roll it. 45 seconds. Waiting for the snap here from Jaden Somalia. Play action. Duacek. Rolling right, directing traffic. Now he'll lob it. It's caught, and going out of bounds is Noah Muir. 23 seconds left. Look, I am impressed with the Arvada West Wildcats tonight. You cannot understate what a good football team is on the other side in Ralston Valley. Battle tested as they come. RV, they played Mountain Vista, Cherry Creek, Grandview, Regis Jesuit, and Valor, all of that in the non-conference. Then wins over Chatfield. They played Columbine. It's as good a team as there is in this state. Duacek over the middle. Garcia to the 25, 17 seconds left. Gotta stop the clock. Clock operator has been a little bit all over the place here. Now they will clock it. So you got 14.9 left. Boy, you'd hate to end this without using that last timeout. So now you almost feel like, hey, we got to work over the middle because we saved that thing. You can't blame Brad Pyatt for saving it here. Just how it's worked out. But now Ralston Valley, who had 3 in their back pocket, can't take it with you to the third quarter. So Jared Yanacito will take a timeout. What a good football game we've got here. Let me make sure we update our score bug there. My apologies, folks. It is 10-7 Ralston Valley. And over there, Jared Yanacito's team, just incredibly well coached. This is a really good team. They've got so much talent. And really what's unique about this team is their size. And just how many players they've got in the trenches that are as high caliber guys as exist in this state. Number 4 ranked team in the land. Duacek from the 25-yard line is now 2nd and 10, has plenty of time, lobbing it deep and way out of bounds. Looking there for Keegan Balistreri, the sophomore. 10 seconds left. Like I said, now you almost feel like you have to work over the middle because you got that timeout left. But I'm impressed with Logan Duacek here in a 2-minute scenario, the way he's managed this offense. Once again, only a sophomore. I think he's really improved as the season's gone along. Coach Pyatt telling me that, like a lot of kids came in, thought, hey, this, I got this. then realizing, hey, it's not going to be easy. We got to settle in for a grind.
Timeout.
And now Arvada West, with the clock stopped, will use the timeout. We'll take 1-2. Just a 3-point game with 9.9 left here in the first half.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
All right. 9 seconds left. 9.9. Do a check. Lobbing it. Garcia into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. A 25-yard strike from Logan Duacek to Aiden Garcia, and Arvada West takes the lead.
Arvada West Wildcats. 26-yard touchdown pass for number 9.
How about Logan Duacek on that drive?
13,
The sophomore.
Garcia.
Brad Pyatt told him, there's only one way through this in our career. We got to do it together. And now it's 14-10. So with just 4.8 left here in the first half, Ralston Valley faces some adversity. Now, good news if you're a Mustang fan. Well, Ralston Valley's been through the ringer for the last 2 years. They have played the toughest teams in the state. They had a silly, difficult schedule the last 2 years. In fact, Ralston Valley ranked 25.9 on the RPI in terms of their strength of schedule. Only Regis Jesuit and Valor Christian have had more difficult schedules, but they're just ranked at 27.6, so it is splitting hairs there. Last year, nobody had a harder schedule than Ralston Valley, and through all of that, just a couple of regular season losses each year. So RV is more than experienced in this kind of spot, but Arvada West has to be feeling good about themselves. Even after surrendering a scoop and score, had some bad things happen to him in this half. An interception at the 1 yard line as you're on your way in to score. A fumble run back for a touchdown, and against all odds, they have the lead. So a squib, and Arvada West was offsides here. Kind of looked disjointed from the start.
Prior to the kick, illegal formation on the kickoff. Arvada West, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Okay. None of that looked quite right.
Please reset the game clock to 4.8.
So 4.8 on the clock. Keep in mind you got some dangerous men on the back end here for Ralston Valley. Jackson Hansen stands at the 23-yard line. I imagine if you are Arvada West, you're well aware of where Jackson Hansen is. You don't want the ball to go to number 2. So they're going to keep it on the ground, and it will trickle back to Jackson Hansen. He's got it at the 23, and then he'll slide down right there at the 22-yard line. Veteran play there from Hansen. Didn't see a lot of upside. I think he went down on purpose there. If I know Jared Yanacito, I would be surprised to see him try to air it out here. I think this is going to be a kneel down, and it sure will. Jared will play it safe, go into the half. A rivalry game here at the NAC. And a good one so far. as the underdog, number 20 team in the state, Arvada West, trying to knock off crosstown rival, number 4 ranked Ralston Valley. We're going to have a quick halftime presentation, and then our interview series with Dennis Ployce will continue as well with the head coach of Arvada West basketball and baseball. Once again, my name is Miles Dunklin alongside great Chris Angelo running the camera. We'll take a quick break and be back for our halftime festivities.
Thank God the weather chilled out.
He got a lot better after at least 3 quarters of the first quarter.
Okay, let's go.
So ghetto, so hood.
These Ralston Valley girls. Yeah. I guess they're
Wouldn't exactly call them from the hood.
wannabe.
Local sports coverage can be found on NSPN.TV all year long. Subscribe to the Neighborhood Sports Network to watch events both live and on demand. Email jobs at NSPN.TV if you'd like to join our team of broadcasters and camera operators. Welcome to the neighborhood.
All right, welcome back to the NAC. 14-10 at halftime. We got 11 minutes on the clock here at the halftime break. My name is Miles Dunklin, and it's our pleasure to bring in Dennis Ployce and his weekly series of halftime interviews. And this week we've got Danny Vase of Arvada West, coaches baseball, coaches basketball, does a lot of different things over there. So I'll go ahead and kick it to Dennis.
All right, thank you a lot, Miles. Again, this is Dennis Ployce, Sports Information Director with Jeffco Public Schools, doing our halftime Jeffco Preps with Ployce edition, and I'm here with Danny Vase. Danny, thanks for joining me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
First, a little wet, a little damp, but what did you see that first half? Obviously, A-West came into play, and they've got the advantage on the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, well, the thing that I kind of love about all these games, no matter what sport it is just kind of the emotion that kind of surrounds it, and the kids kind of knowing each other, growing up together. But AOS got clicking a little bit early there with the run game, and I know that's super important to Coach Pyatt after talking to him this week a little bit, and got kind of lucky that Logan got outside the pocket and made a couple big throws.
Yeah.
But overall, man, it's that emotions, and can they sustain it, and kind of avoid the big plays at all costs.
Yeah, these rivalry games, you never know. It doesn't matter what the records are coming into it. It's always a battle.
Yeah, well, and then they had the first half with those two balls, seemingly just popped right into their hands.
The pick and the fumble.
And the fumble.
Yeah.
And so, but I know that talking to the kids this week and kind of being around them, they were excited for it, and again. The way that you prepare and the way that you go about your business, and I'm looking forward to the second half and trying to stay warm.
Yeah. Danny, a little bit of background. Obviously, AWest grad, really one of the best two-sport athletes I've ever covered, doing this for a little over 2 decades.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, on the basketball court, all-state, baseball, state. Played some minor league baseball for several years with the Twins.
Yep.
Just talk about coming back to AWest now, and obviously you've been the baseball coach for a couple of years and now taking over the basketball program.
Everything, every path that you have, it kind of starts with its own journey, and to be honest with you, when I was these kids' age, if somebody would have told me that I was going to end up, back at Arvada West, as a teacher and a coach of kids, that was kind of my passion, just being around Eddie Reeves. I always give credit to him, rest in peace, but he was a big driving force to what I was able to accomplish athletically, and so I knew that I always wanted to coach kids in some sort of fashion. Obviously, I was hoping it was after a baseball career, but it just ended up that things kind of aligned and worked out for me, and I'm able to get back at the school and hopefully give back, to these kids and have a positive effect, kind of like what Eddie and Coach Capra had on me.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about deciding to take over the basketball program, and what do you think you got there? Because obviously you got an RV that's really loaded with the Burkitas over there.
Well, so that's the funny thing is, the crossing of paths and how small and how big Arvada actually is. But, Coach Burkita and I, we were next door neighbors for 4 years. Tanner, I've grown up watching Tanner play. Caden and my older son Cooper are on the same teams growing up. Liam and his younger son Liam and my younger son Brody are on the same baseball team. Emery, his daughter, and my daughter are on the same softball team. So, our paths just cross it, and the two of us have nothing but respect for each other and the way that, we kind of go about our business. Obviously, their program's a little bit more solidified, I would probably say. Losing Nichols and losing Padilla from last year, that were two big parts of the team. But man, I'm excited. It reminds me a lot of when Eddie took over for us, when he took over from Coach Pettit way back when, my freshman year. And really everything that you do is trying to establish what style of play that you want to play. And, the one thing that I've been telling the kids is we're going to play fast, we're going to play with a lot of confidence, and it's going to be a fun style of play to watch.
Yeah, those were some of your teams that you had there. I think if Ralston Valley didn't come in existence, you'd probably want to hung a state banner with a Facekas kid and a couple of those other RV kids.
It's just it's just the way that the tape kind of falls, and it was unfortunate when Ralston Valley, for me personally, I thought, with Fazekas, we would have had a chance to win it my junior year when we lost to Mullen in the Final Four, and then coming back my senior year, I think he was all Colorado with me that year, and so having two all Colorado guys on the same team would have been a big deal. But it is what it is. It creates for a big rivalry. I know Pomona's kind of losing its footing and losing kind of the athletic rivalry like we used to have with them. And if anything with sports, we know that when we watch and there's rivalries and there's things to get kids motivated, that makes it even more fun for everybody. Yeah,
and it kind of is secular sometimes. Obviously, you have ups and downs, and programs grow, and then they kind of go away, and then they come back.
Yeah, no, I'm just super excited. Obviously, the Arvada community's always had really a good kind of basis of young players, and kind of the kids growing up have just kind of been feeding into Ralston Valley here for the last couple of years, and I know for me that it's really, really important that we show a fun style of play that kind of gets kids excited about kind of returning and coming back to A West, because unless you know your history and you've been around as long as you, like, nobody would remember that it was less than 15, 20 years ago that A West was really, really dominant in basketball for years and years. So, but it's fun, man. I'm excited about it. The kids are excited about it. We're working really hard. We just got finished up last night, actually, with our 3-month fall program that we did. They'll take this week off, and we got tryouts here in about 2 weeks, and I couldn't be more pleased with where we're at, not only from the basketball side, the football side's doing great, baseball. And so for me, it's a program, it's a school that's got great facilities, and it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah. I guess you're going to figure out how to balance that basketball to baseball season, too.
It's and that's the great thing about it, man. I mean, to be honest with you, the administration up at Arvada West is super, super supportive. I don't know that there's a ton of people that would choose to do it, but this is what I love to do, man. Like everybody, that's the comment that everybody makes to me is, oh, man, how are you going to have time? We all find time for things that we love, right? And so I love being around the kids. I love trying to teach them and give them the tricks that, maybe help me be successful, and then just being a part of their journey, man. And hopefully, one day they all can look back the same light that I look with Coach Reeves, and I could have been a kind of a driving force to them.
Yeah, and obviously you're still running elite facility too. I don't know how you do it all.
Don't ever mention, right? But no, I mean, it's all personal interest stuff, and like I said, coaching for me is super important. Not only from wins and losses, but how you kind of motivate kids and how you get to be a part of their journey, and so. We make it work. My wife's super, super supportive. Bless her heart for what she kind of puts up with me. But I'm doing what I love, and that's what people should strive to do in life.
Yeah, and that's something obviously Brad has done with the football program, coming back from where he was playing in the late '90s with Logan, and it
was great to see him. I mean, obviously, he had his little stint with the Colts and his success that he had personally with football, and some of the most powerful coaches are the ones that have something tied to where they are because they remember what it was like, right? And that's one thing that kind of gets lost is kind of the history of schools and kids kind of understanding what it used to be. And I know for me that was a big thing, right, with the Cutlips and the Hallidays and the Kiters and all those people that just kind of wore purple and white and, were super, super successful. Hopefully we can start getting a tradition that people can be proud of again.
The vase name is in there, too.
No,
yes, it is. Yes,
maybe for hoops.
All right, thanks a lot, Daddy, for your time. We enjoyed
Brandon Patterson, because he's over George Patterson. Brandon's actually the only other All-Colorado basketball player from A West, and he's over on the other side. I coach his son in baseball.
All right. Thank you, Daddy. All right, we'll throw it back to Miles for second half. Should be a great one to see how things go here. And obviously both of these teams head to the playoffs. And if RV drops this one, I don't know if they'll drop all the way out of the top 8 there. They get buys, but we'll see. But enjoy the second half, and I will throw it back to Miles.
All right, our thanks to Dennis Ployce of Jefferson County. Really enjoy those conversations every week, and we get a chance to talk with the leaders of these schools that these guys and girls, these women and men rather, put in so much work to nurture the lives of these young people, and really nice to be able to get some conversations with them. And Dennis Ployce, who's been around Jefferson County athletics for a long time as well. So about 2 minutes left on the halftime clock. We'll take a break and be back. Start the third quarter.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes. Good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Yo, camping buddy.
Boom.
Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive. If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Yo, camping buddy.
Boom.
Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
All right. After our halftime break, we are ready for third quarter action between the Ralston Valley Mustangs and the Arvada West Wildcats, a game that's been anticipated pretty much throughout this season, certainly by me up here in the booth, as this one is fielded by Weldon at the 26, and number 26 will take it out to about the 29-yard line as Logan Madden and company will get the ball to start this third quarter. No touchdowns for the Ralston Valley offense so far, so give a big tip of the cap to this Arvada West defense. Able to get a big takeaway interception by Cameron Meyer, but Logan Madden and company, they have been through many times before this kind of situation, and Madden this season, 67% completions, throws it for 223 yards a game, 16 touchdowns to just 4 INTs. He is the state's best quarterback. He'll have something to say in this second half, but to get things started, excellent play by Jackson Pyatt in the middle of that defense. Pyatt, Sanchez, and Meyer combined to make the stop there. It's Bishop, or rather Austin Blattner at center, Mikolas Henning and Jake Huffman at the guards, and Bishop, or rather Peyton Noble, and Jack Moran at the tackles. As they throw it right side, there's Jackson Hanson. Hanson's loose! And nobody's going to catch number 2. Jackson Hanson, a 70-yard catch and run. There's just no holding down number 2 for Ralston Valley. Mustangs retake the lead. He's the pound-for-pound champ here in the state of Colorado. And believe me, Arvada West was doing their best to not get beat by Jackson Hanson. Huge part of their focus. Still, number 2 finds a way to make an impact, and just like that, 48 seconds into the third quarter, Ralston Valley reclaims the lead. So that's touchdown toss on the year, number 17 for Logan Madden. And for Jackson Hanson, that is his 12th touchdown. 17 touchdown passes, 12 of them to Hanson. So it does not take a football genius to say, hey, we got to find a way to slow down number 2. That's been the case every single week, and he still found a way to score 12 touchdowns. So, how about this? Brady Weldon has 10 touchdowns. Jackson Hanson has 12. No other Ralston Valley Mustang has more than 3. You got to find a way to stop those 2 guys. Easier said than done. Here comes Jaden Green from the goal line. He's got some room here to the left. Green. Out of bounds there across the 30. Nice job. I'm noticing that Jaden Nichols is not in uniform here for Arvada West. And notice that in the first half. So that's one of their starting corners. Already have their hands full with this Ralston Valley squad. Last time we saw Logan Duhacek, he was finding Aiden Garcia for a 25-yard touchdown. They hand it to Somalia, driven down there by Laird Jones. Jones, the leading tackler, number 9 for Ralston Valley. Jones, not the tallest guy in there, but he makes a lot of plays for this defense. 2nd and 9 after the short gain. See if they keep it on the ground here, make it a 3rd and manageable. It's Duhacek throwing. And I think at the last second he saw Bryson Diebel coming and decided to short arm that one. Looking for Balistreri. Balistreri, a basketball player as well. It's the problem with throwing there on 2nd down, and you got to keep them guessing sometimes, but now you're facing this 3rd down and 9. Those talented RV pass rushers get to pin their ears back. Throwing right side, and Noah Muir lost his footing. They had him for sure. On a little slant there, should have been a 1st down and more. But Muir unable to squeeze it. He almost made the catch even though he was falling down. And look, you know, I don't want to make too much of this, but you're now kind of in a danger zone here for Arvada West. Give the ball back to Ralston Valley. You cannot let Ralston Valley go score here. And this definitely can't happen. It's blocked. George Patterson. Check that. It's not Patterson. Another huge play for Jacob LaBarbera. A scoop and score and a blocked punt. And punt team has been a tough unit here for Arvada West. Had the one go through the punter's hands, and now one's been blocked. And I said it a second ago, but Ralston Valley, they could strike quickly here and put you behind the 8 ball. Little triple option. Hansen smacked out there in the flat. It's Cooper Greason. Energetic defensive back with a nice read there on that little triple option look by the Mustangs. This is a big defensive stand here for Arvada West. An early motion. I think this is going to go against the Wildcats.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, Arvada West. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So 2nd and 14 turns into 2nd down and 9. The man to watch is right there, middle of your screen, Jackson Hansen. Slot to the right of the offensive line. Madden throwing this one toward the end zone. It is incomplete. Adrian Somalia. Somalia, I mean, you can tell from up here, but he is as fit a player as we have in this Jeffco 5A league. His dedication in the weight room and his fitness level, they show up on Friday nights and this Thursday night, playing both ways. Weight room warrior is Somalia. Good coverage there, makes it 3rd down and 9 for the state's top quarterback. Lots of time, rolling right. There's a flag down, throwing for Hansen. A rare drop there for Jackson. Would have been a nice hands catch. Madden rifled that one in there on the run. I mean, Logan can really let it eat.
Holding, number 77, Ralston Valley. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and 9. This is within Pfeiffer's range for sure. Looks like they'll keep the offense on the field. But back to the arm strength there of Logan Madden. I mean, the dude's got some skills. 4th and 9, they need the 10-yard line. And Arvada West went offsides. Make the decision even easier.
Encroachment, number 7, Arvada West. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Wyatt Morewood's checked in, bottom of the screen. 4 wide receiver look again here. Phipps, Benalo. Or rather, that's Strange. Benalo, Hansen, and Morewood. Weldon in the backfield next to Logan Madden. Madden patting the football. He's sacked. Sanchez got him back at the 20. Another talented young player here for Arvada West. Kevin Sanchez, just a sophomore. He and Vinny Vigil, these guys are going to be veteran football players. They'll have played 25, 30 games together by the time they're done with their varsity careers. A lot of these guys, 30, 35 games. Sanchez with a huge sack. That's his first of the season. A run there for no gain. This defensive line, so talented. Tyrese Johnson, the Air Force pledge. George Patterson, Austin Blattner. Jack Moran. And then you'll get their second level as well with Weldon, Jones, LeBlanc. It's a good defensive front. Play action here for Duhacek. Able to evade the pressure. Throwing. How about Logan Duhacek? I am impressed with this young man as he finds No Muir.
First down, Wildcats. Pass complete for number
Late in the down, extending the play, keeping his eyes down the field. All advanced, high-level quarterbacking here from Logan Duhacek. Got some action last year. This is his 11th career start. And that's when a quarterback should be starting to make some of those improvements. Duhacek doing exactly what Arvada West would hope he would do, would be keep getting better. And let's look at Logan as he comes over to the sideline. I mean, he's got the physical tools for sure. Good 6'3", 6'4". He's got a big arm. And Brad Pyatt right there wearing the hoodie telling me that, you know, he's finally letting his arm show off a little bit instead of thinking too much, and it's absolutely natural. That's what playing quarterback as a sophomore is going to do to you. It's going to speed up your mind, make you go through things a little bit faster. Things are starting to slow down as they throw it near side. Broken tackle. First down for the Wildcats. Let's go back to the block kick by LaBarbera. Looked like RV might try to deliver a knockout blow in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, but that A-West defense held tough. And now some first downs from the A-West offense. Trailing right now by 3, but playing, from what I've seen, their best game of the year to this point. You keep in mind the quality of the opponent. Duhacek again making a play, again keeping his eyes down the field. Late, and it's knocked away. Nice play there by Phipps. Able to knock it away from Ian Morgan, a junior who's been getting some run today. But the poise on this sophomore quarterback now. I haven't seen this from Logan Duhacek. Especially rolling out to his right. He seems very comfortable. And he is a capable runner, but didn't seem interested in that. Seemed interested in keeping his eyes down the field. That's what you want to see out of a young quarterback, instead of those natural instincts to tuck it and run. Here's Jaden Green, and he's swallowed up. Bryson Diebold, Laird Jones, or rather that was Brady Weldon and Laird Jones. Nowhere to go. And now it's 3rd and 10 from the Arvada West 48. Got 2 more games for you tomorrow on the Neighborhood Sports Network. That's going to round out our season of regular season coverage here at the NAC. Grand Junction and Golden, Stanley Lake and Dakota Ridge. D1 quarterback in that game as well. 3rd and 10. Duhacek again rolling right, again making a play. Noah Muir's all by himself. Muir down the sideline. Dragged down by Laird Jones, but how about Logan Duhacek? And Noah Muir helping out the quarterback.
40-yard completion downfield for
Duhacek, this is the best I've seen him look by far. He looks incredibly comfortable and poised despite a pretty big moment tonight under the lights at the NAC against crosstown rival A bunch set to the right. They'll run it with Jaden Green that direction. Behind big old Bryce Miller. And now here comes Adrian Somalia.
And up there, number 1, Jaden Green. On the stuff for RV, number 20.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line here for Arvada West. This is a good defensive line for Ralston Valley. Giovanni Panazzo, he's the best of that group. Bryce Miller, Jaden Somalia, Caleb Haar, those are the two guys. Haar played last year as a freshman. Braden Zack at right tackle. Now you've got Somalia and Green in the game. And early motion here by the Cats.
Prior to the snap, false start, Arvada West. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Here's, I think, something you can say about Arvada West at this point. They're close. Okay, they're not there yet as the kind of team I think they want to be, but over the course of this year, they've done what good football teams do, which is beat up on inferior opponents. And they have really done that in spades. And now they are competing with the best. Somalia toward the pylon. Dragged down inside the 1. One thing you almost never see from Adrian is those hands on hips. He just seems to be so content getting the football play after play.
On the stop for RV, it's number 25, Kyle Phipps.
Phipps makes the stop. They're going to call him down at the 2.
Third down and goal now.
Somalia is the up back, Jaden Green, the deep back. The ball's on the ground, Duacek falls on it. A field goal here would tie the game, and it looks like that's what Arvada West will settle for. You know, that one was tough because with Somalia lined up at fullback, I kind of felt like that's where the ball was going. Certainly looked like that's what Ralston Valley was anticipating as well, and then Logan might have rushed that one just a tad bit. This is going to come from 23 yards out. It's a bad snap. Had to jump to fall on it. And that's the play right there. So Jaden Sunby really had no choice but to leap to try to catch that ball. Now, you might ask, why was he down by contact or down when a holder can be down? But your elbows and your other knee can't touch the ground. You can have the one knee on the ground for sure, but once the rest of your body hits the ground, it's not Sundays. You can't get up and run. That's the end of the play. So Arvada West, twice now, they get inside the 1 and they don't get any points. One on an interception. And technically that play came from about the 20, but the ball was caught at about the 1 and then bobbled and picked off. And then here's Somalia, takes him all the way to the 2. And then a turnover on downs. Quads to the left here for Logan Madden and company. They can score on any play. They get it to Hansen again. And Hansen's got nowhere to go. Flag flies as well. There's an injured Wildcat. And now it looks like everyone's okay. It's in the area of a hold on that screen.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 8, Arvada West. 15 yards. Results for first down.
And instead of a hold, it is a face mask on Cooper Greason. So look, I certainly have my sympathy on trying to bring down Jackson Hansen, but unfortunately caught him up top and called for the face mask. We've got just 14 minutes left in this one. This is going by at lightning speed compared to our first game this evening. This one was delayed by about 20 minutes. Here's Madden. Heaving the deep ball. And Benalo unable to haul it in. Nice effort over there by Anthony. Adrian Somalia again. That young man does not leave the field very often.
Brings up second down.
Somalia following Benalo. Tillman following Hansen. And they'll sling it to Hansen on the triple option. And look at Hansen accelerate and pick up 15 just like that. Nice play by Logan Madden as well. It's not your granddad's triple option, all right? It's a zone read, and the quarterback can pull it, run with it, or he can sling it out at the last second. And if you're Logan Madden, you're more than a capable runner yourself, but might as well get it in the hands of number 2. First and 10 from the 45. They're going to try to press Hansen there in the slot. They hand it off up the gut. Lots of running room. Weldon inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Huge hole. Offense. That big offensive line doing their thing. Gomez makes the stop as well as Meyer. And looks like Jackson Pyatt might be banged up. He leaves the field. Up the middle. Nice play there by Vinny Vigil. I got to an Arvada West practice earlier this year, and defensive line went over to do their thing, and there wasn't a coach leading that group. There was Vincent Vigil. Was taking everybody through the drills on defense. He actually started for this team in a playoff game at quarterback 2 years ago. And here he is as a junior. One of their definitive leaders and captains. Madden keeps it. A late toss. Nowhere to go. Adrian Somalia makes another play. Marshall Strange out there. It is important to note again, as we reach the end of the third quarter, this RV squad missed one of their big weapons over the course of the year in number 0, Liam Beatty. Some of those other receivers picking up the slack. We'll go to the fourth quarter in a good one. In a rivalry game here at the NAC with Ralston Valley leading crosstown rival Arvada West 17-14.
We'd like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that sports can really...
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Madden up the middle. On third down, Logan will pick up about 5. And fourth down and 5 upcoming. This might be an opportunity, if you're Jared Yanacito, to roll the dice a little bit. You don't gain a lot by getting 3. Still a 1-score game. You don't make it, you make A West drive the length of the field. 2-by-2 set. And number 2, most important player on the field, is in the slot at the bottom of the screen. He's down there with Anthony Bonallo, 2 very good receivers. Madden looks that way. And guess who? Jackson Hansen into the end zone again! They just can't stop number 2. Hansen with a pair of huge touchdowns here in the second half. And Ralston Valley extends their lead. This one comes on 4th down. Just how big of a weapon has Jackson Hansen been for this team?
Encroachment, defense, half the distance goal, retry the kick.
Logan Madden has thrown 18 touchdown passes. 13 of them have gone to Jackson Hansen. And I mean this purely as a compliment to Hansen. The defensive focus is on number 2. Still can't slow him down. Maybe a little bit quiet early. Not quiet here in the second half.
Fans, we have a public address announcement with Conrad Blackman.
And a little double move that time from Hansen. Went out and then back in. Able to lose the defender and then just pure instincts and want to from there to get into the end zone. Been calling football for a long time. Only 2 years of full-time calling Colorado high school games. And, you know, pretty easy to say he's been one of my favorites to watch. Perfect throw by Madden on that one as well. Not a long throw, but hit Jackson in stride, where he was able to keep running and find pay dirt. So as well as Arvada West played in the second half, they have not been able to defend Jackson Hansen here. Well, that's a problem for everybody. They've had their chances. Got down inside the 5. Came away without any points. Here's Somalia. Nowhere to go. Excellent play there by Phipps. Or rather, that's Strange. I've been trying to call Marshall Strange Kyle Phipps all night, so my apologies, Strange family. Speaking of guys with great fitness, check out who's in the bottom right corner of your screen right there. Playing defense. It's Jackson Hansen. Over the middle. Caught. Not quite to the sticks. That's Garcia. Young receivers are kind of growing up in front of our eyes here.
Duwacek completes it to number 13, Aiden Garcia, making the stop for RV, number 19.
This is a big game for Ralston Valley in terms of the seeding. You want a first-round bye.
3 yards shy of the
You absolutely want that first-round bye. The top 8 teams get them. And right now it looks like there could be 3 teams from this league in the top 8 receiving first-round byes. Somalia and needed the 30 there on 3rd down.
And number 12, Adrian Samala, number 75, brings it down for A West, Jake Huffman.
And now it's 4th and 2. Huffman made the stop.
From the 27.
Too early to call it the ball game, but this is a must-have for Arvada West. And I think Brad Pyatt there, recognizing the importance of the situation, he'll take a timeout.
First time out of
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you...
Huge 4th down and 2 for Arvada West. Got to have it. Duhacek. Got a nice block there from Panazzo. Needs another one to take care of Patterson. Got it. What a play as he finds Somalia to move the chains. Unbelievable. How about the block by Caleb Haar? 57 hands up saying, hey, I'm not blowing this guy up here. I'm not clipping. I'm not holding. I'm just getting in the way of George Patterson.
To keep the drive alive. Let's play there on 4th down. First down.
1st and 10. Somalia running tough. Laird Jones makes another stop. But that to really keep the game alive for the Wildcats. Boy, you give it back to Ralston Valley right there at the 35, all the momentum that the Mustangs have. And you could get the ball back down 31-14. So huge to move the chains there. Somalia again. Wow, what a play that was by Moran. Jack Moran. 6'6", 250 pounds. How about the matchup with him and Gio Panazzo right now on different sides of the offensive line, but each of those guys north of 6'6", north of 250 pounds. And they'll be playing against each other. Colorado State and Wyoming. 3rd down and 2. After the big play there by Moran. Here's Somalia, running room. It's Patterson. But Somalia moves the chains first. Nice to have Tyrese Johnson back in the lineup, number 58. He'll be playing his college ball at the Air Force Academy. At least that's the plan for now.
There for RV, number 11, George Patterson. First down, Wildcats at the Mustang 44.
Not many teams have the kind of depth that Ralston Valley does in the trenches. Can you stay with them for 4 quarters? Whistles blow here. Play clock's at 0.
Fire the snap. False start. Number 13, Arvada West. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
How about Brad Pyatt choosing to come back to Arvada West, where he's a legend, played in a state championship game, lost, played in another and won. Jared Ionesito on the other side. Same story. He wanted to coach big-time high school football in Jefferson County. Played himself at Pomona. Duhacek tripped, and he's sacked. Blattner got him. But give the credit there to Moran and Huffman as they rushed up the field. Duhacek had to step up and maybe tripped on his own man there. So false start, then a 7-yard loss. Call it a 6-yard loss, and now it's 2nd and 21, not the position you want for your sophomore quarterback. Little flip here to Gomez. Hadn't gotten too much run, but he can carry it. And Gomez has about 1. Lateral pursuit. Like I said, Gomez, the 3rd of those terrific sophomore running backs. He's turned into a primarily an outside linebacker, but He's a more than capable runner. Played running back last year as a freshman. Noah Muir split to the right. You got Morgan, Garcia, and Balistreri to the left on 3rd and 20. And that one will skip in to Aiden Garcia. And now A West is really up against it. Under 6 minutes to play here. Logan Duacek has equipped himself as well as he has all year. I've been impressed with Logan in this one. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. As the ball right now is on the A West 46, they need to get all the way to the RV 33. Timeout taken here by the Mustangs. We'll take a break as well.
First time out of the half.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
It's 4th down and long here for Arvada West. Game's on the line. Moran with a huge rush. Able to escape. Was Duhacek. Was that ball caught? Yes, it was. By Balistreri. Are they going to move the chains? Oh, my goodness. It's going to be just inches shy. Great camera work there by Chris Angelo. It will be short.
Just barely by about a yard. RV takes back over.
So Ralston Valley will retake the football. What a performance it's been by RV here. They took A West's best shot. A West is a talented football team. The Ralston Valley fans letting them know about it as well. More bracket coverage on the bottom of your screen there with Greason and Tillman on Hanson. But there goes Diebold. Bryson Diebold with a big gainer up the middle.
Handoff number 24, Bryson Diebold. First down, Mustangs. Number 4 on a stop for A West, Grant Roger.
Grant Trotar makes the stop.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 5, Arvada West. 15 yards the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Chris Stevens-Rosner called for unsportsmanlike. He's apoplectic. Does not appreciate the call. But look, I think if you're a Ralston Valley fan, this is just the kind of team you got. They're gritty. They're going to find a way to get Jackson Hanson the football. Logan Madden is too good to hold down over the course of 4 quarters. And no matter who they play in the playoffs, they're going to be in the game, and they're going to have a chance to win. And just like last year, Stevens-Rosner makes the play there on Weldon.
Number 26,
they're going to have a puncher's chance at winning the state title. And Ralston Valley has won a state championship in every single sport except football. And that's definitely on their minds when they hired Jared Yanacito. Now, Jared, first of all, he's going to do a great job of building a program the right way on character, on academics, on faith. He's going to build a winning program as well. Now, he inherited some great talent here. He'd be the first one to tell you that you can't, guys like Peyton Noble, Jack Moran, Tyrese Johnson, those guys don't grow on trees. Not everybody has that kind of talent when they take over a program, but he has maximized their ability here. So here comes Laird Jones. They've deployed Jones in these kind of situations this year on short yardage things. Elijah Berger, junior offensive lineman's checked in as well. Weldon spinning and plowing over Gomez to move the chains. Arvada West might not get the ball back. So it's about 3:45 on the clock. And you can just see the way that Jared Yanacito is massaging this clock right now in absolutely no hurry. Getting to the line with 15, making some changes. Trips to the left in a bunch. Here they go again, working that clock down to 5 on the clock. And Logan Madden gets it with 2 on the clock. Madden will sling it out. Hansen, it's through his hands, incomplete. No whistle blew, but look at Jackson Hansen explode to go get that thing. There were a couple Arvada West Wildcats that were distance-wise closer to that football. Hansen found a way to find it. And roughing the passer call is going to move the chains. Look, stranger things have happened. It's not over yet. Okay, but Wildcats have their backs against the wall here. Played well in this one. Gave themselves a chance to win. Got to keep in mind when you're playing with about 75% sophomores. You're playing with 75% sophomores.
Clock will start on my whistle.
It's about as young as you can be. And this team's best football is definitely ahead of them. Up the middle. Powering inside the 5 goes Brady Weldon. It's been so consistent and solid for them. Next snap's going to come with about 2:15 left.
Second and goal now from the 4-yard line.
Up the middle. And held out of the end zone. Sanchez and Greason. Rudely greeting Weldon there. So Arvada West, this thing's not over with. They're going to take a timeout here. You're able to keep Ralston Valley out of the end zone. Stays a 2-score game. Stranger things have happened. We'll take a break.
You're watching NSPN.TV, the neighborhood sports network. For a low monthly rate, you can watch every game and show in Colorado and around the country.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You're watching NSPN.TV.
All right. It's 3rd and goal from the 4 for the Mustangs. Logan Madden. Madden on the keeper. He'll be sacked. Dragged down there by Gomez. Gomez has had a couple plays where he's been able to get to Logan Madden. And another timeout will be taken here. Let's take a look at the RPI right now. Cherry Creek's number 1 with a bullet, 53.4. Columbine, 44.7. The next 2 teams, Arapahoe and Ralston Valley, are separated by just 0.2 in the RPI. It's 40.4 to 40.2. Ralston Valley wins this one. They could very likely jump to number 3. But the top 8 teams will receive first-round buys. Can Chatfield go past Valor Christian if they were to beat Columbine tomorrow night? They will for sure. Could those 3 Jefferson County teams all get first-round buys? Arvada West right now sits at 20. And Coach Brad Pyatt telling me yesterday he thinks win or lose today, they will be in the playoffs. Just depends on their seed. So here's Pfeiffer from 26 yards out. And he splits it.
The field goal attempt is
Pfeiffer,
good, a 26-yarder.
excellent young talent. That makes our new score 27
Our score here
to 14.
25. Mustangs 27, Wildcats 14.
RV's been through a lot this year. Didn't play well in their opening week win, but did win 13-7. Then week 2 had their moments against Cherry Creek, but the Bruins ended up winning that one 35-9. Then you had to play Grandview, Regis Jesuit, Valor Christian. All those games were close. This is very similar to last year's group. Could just be playing around Thanksgiving. In Texas, we'd say teams to remember play in December. And this Ralston Valley squad has the makings of a team that could play in the month of December.
Once again, we have a public address announcement. Taylor Paulson Gunderson. Please report to the press box. Once again, Taylor Paulson Gunderson. Thank you.
Timeout. Ralston Valley.
Ralston Valley will take a timeout here with 1:55 remaining.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Need a bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for you.
First and 10 here for the Cats. That's Garcia out of bounds.
Pass.
As I said earlier, I think among the positive takeaways here for Arvada West, I think your passing game is really starting to mature. Can all these youngsters grow up together? And be what Brad Pyatt hopes they can be. Do a check. Looking today like he might be that quarterback. They can take Arvada West where they haven't been since the Dave Logan days. Obviously the dynamics around the state have changed, but this team's got a special future. That one skips in to Noah Muir.
Incomplete was looking for number 21, Noah Muir. Number 2, Jackson.
And there's a player down in the backfield.
For the Mustangs.
And it looks like that is Logan Duhacek. And we never speculate on this kind of thing, but he was immediately asking teammates to help stretch him out. So hoping, not speculating, but hoping that could be a cramp. And they are stretching out the right leg. You know, the Arvada West fans at halftime were doing the scoreboard chant. Kind of set themselves up as they were receiving it on this other end. So it did appear to be a cramp for Logan Duhacek. Usually with any kind of an actual injury, they're not going to be stretching you out right there in the moment. So pretty good indication that's what that was. But here on 3rd and 1, Logan will have to leave the field. And it's number 18. It's Jaden Sunby, who will come in to quarterback the Wildcats on this 3rd down and 1. Just 83 seconds left in the action tonight here from the NAC. Somalia went over 1,000 yards on the season tonight. Well, he never gives up on a run, Adrian Somalia. Pushed out of bounds there at about the 44-yard line.
Tackle made by number 2, Jackson.
Duhacek is right back in the game. Had to come out.
First down.
Does look a little bit
Wildcats.
like he's limping.
Got it at the wrong 44.
Sean Trinder is in the game at receiver. Junior. Stepping up, navigating the pocket. Once again, a nice play there by Duhacek.
Wildcats back in the game at quarterback and points it there to number 21.
Really liking his poise in the chaos of the pocket tonight, especially to his right. Boy, either Muir was offsides there or got an excellent jump, but he's taken down immediately there by Jackson Hansen. Nice stop.
Pass complete there, number 21.
That Ralston Valley student section has not thinned out.
Then we'll start on my whistle. 49 seconds.
And they're hitting them with the "I believe that we just won" chant.
Wildcats have got it at the RV 45.
And they're giving the Wildcats a chant that
49 seconds on the game clock.
the Nuggets fans gave the Lakers a couple of nights ago. I'll let you connect the dots. Cats spike it. Game is still not over. 45 seconds left. I can hear the Ralston Valley coaches right next to me saying, hey, they didn't call a timeout. And that's true. Play clock still rolling down here. Five seconds on the play clock. 45 seconds on the game clock. Duhacek dribbled it off the grass, and then Tyrese Johnson swallowed him up back at the 45-yard line.
Sacked in the backfield. Number 58.
I don't know why the clock stopped there.
Tyrese Johnson.
Four wide receivers, three to the left here for Logan. Again, finding a way to walk the line there at the line of scrimmage. And Balistreri makes the catch and moves the chains. Logan's had this uncanny ability in this one to know where the line of scrimmage is and not cross it. A lot more difficult than you might think, especially when you get flushed out of the pocket, can be very disorienting. Logan's hung in there and played some good quarterback tonight. It's getting close to mathematical, though, with 17 and a half seconds left here. No timeouts remaining for the Cats. If they don't score right here on this play, it's over. And now Ralston Valley's going to take time.
Ralston Valley, third and final timeout of the half.
What's another 5 minutes at the NAC? We've been here since 3 o'clock. Almost 10 o'clock here local time. We'll take another quick break.
You're watching NSPN.TV, the neighborhood sports network. For a low monthly rate, you can watch every game and show in Colorado and around the country.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You're watching NSPN.TV.
Do a check. Throwing a little hook and ladder. They get it back to Somalia. 10 seconds left. Clock still rolling. Not a first down. 3 seconds left. 2-1. This will be the last play of the game, barring a defensive penalty. Do a check. Lobs it. Intercepted. What a day for LaBarbera. A block punt. A fumble return for a touchdown and an INT for Jacob LaBarbera. So that will do it. I'm going to ask, as usual, our producers and camera people here for our player of the game. Got to nominate Jackson Hansen. Had 2 touchdowns, 1 long one to take the lead. Logan Madden. And how about LaBarbera, the scoop and score, an INT, and a block kick. All right, we're going to take number 19, Jacob LaBarbera, as our player of the game. He had a big one for the Mustangs, as they will secure that first round bye. Arvada West should be in the playoffs. But that does it for our coverage of this 5A Jeffco League here at the NAC this season. Been an exciting season of football. We got 2 more games tomorrow night with Golden, Dakota Ridge, and Grand Junction and Stanley Lake. Should be a fun one tomorrow. A reminder as well, I got Colorado School of Mines on TV on Saturday. Tune in for the biggest game of the year so far in that Division II world. But for now, tonight, our final score in this one. The Arvada West Wildcats 14, the Ralston Valley Mustangs 27. For Chris Angelo running the camera, for our producers, Brad Duke and Amy Fauché, for our spotter, Luch Pinazzo. My name's Miles Dunklin here saying so long from the NAC.